Hello, hello. Hi, sis. Hey, living better. Chosen queen first on deck. She said she's going to be chiming in, but she's not going to be chiming in, but listening. I understand. Thank you so much for giving me the thumbs up. Thumbs up the live, please, guys. I'm going to hang in there the best of my ability today because we just had a really, really bad storm here and it is still thundering. Hopefully, it will not get worse, but better. I love the rain. I love to see the rain and the trees swaying and the sound of the rain hitting the roof and the glass, but it's scary. It really is scary. Okay, of course, the phone would ring when I go live. Story of my life. So I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes to come in and hey Trick of Living. Hey, thank you for coming, sis. Welcome. I enjoyed your premiere. Really enjoyed your premiere. Okay. I did have some music set, and I think with the storm, I kind of got a little twisted. Kind of scared me. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, guys. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, welcome. Thank you, Jasmine. Hi, the portal. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, it's not doing it now. It's just thundering. So, can you guys hear me? Is the music too loud? Thank you so much for coming. Again, if it gets bad, I will be the first one to jump off. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, hello. Welcome, sis. How are you? See, I forgot to text you again to about the live tip. Sorry about that. But yesterday, took me for a loop, and I'm still battling that. So it is what it is. Hey, Taylor. Welcome. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Blessings, peace, and love to all. Thank you so much, the portal. And I try not to bore you guys with the music, but you don't have the best options when we're dealing with YouTube music. I'm just saying. But at least they gave us some options. Something is better than nothing, right? So I normally give about 5 minutes for people to come in. Oh, okay. Okay. I got you. Thank you for that update, Tiffany. I appreciate it. Gotcha. Okay, Tiffany. I kind of figured that. Yeah, she did have a nice call to pastos. So how was everybody's weekend? My weekend was very, very peaceful. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hey, Short Bus, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Welcome. Welcome, 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 guys. Let me go ahead and get the slides open up so we can get started. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, 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 guys. Let me go ahead and get the slides open up so we can get started. Thank you for joining us. Okay, that was me. I left my tab open, but let's go ahead and get this started. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, that was me. I left my tab open, but let's go ahead and get this started. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, that was me. I left my tab open. Let's go ahead and... All right. Hey, Harrison Family Blog. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. You had a nice premiere yesterday with your son's graduation. Surprise, that was really a surprise. That was very nice. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and open up my slides here. And today's topic, we're going to talk about fraud. And not so much fraud in the mortgage business, just fraud in general. I wanted to kind of do something freestyle today. And with that being said, I think it's a good idea that we do some, just talk a little bit about fraud. All right, guys, we've got the slides up and ready. And let's get started. So with mortgage fraud, how many of you guys knew what was going on with the mortgage industry with fraud? Was anybody affected by it in any way, shape, or form? Whether you were told something different from your loan officer and they made up stuff, or whether or not you were actually in a home that was deemed as a fraud transaction that was not your, that you didn't know about. Of course, guys, I have to give you my disclaimer first too, and that's actually something, if you want to read over it, I say it every week, but if you want me to read it, I can, but that is my disclaimer, so nobody can come back at me and say, well, she told me I was approved for a loan, because no, I didn't. So I'm going to just go ahead and move to another part of the house, because I already can tell that my dear friend, the bird, is going to start misbehaving. So I apologize for that, guys, but at least we don't have a storm, right? Okay. And now I'm upstairs and I can actually hear the thunder very loud now, but we're going to keep it moving. So has anybody been affected by fraud of any way, shape, or form? All right. Sorry, guys, I had to move to a lower level in the house because of the storm, and it was really bad. So I'm sorry, I wasn't as prepared as I usually am. So let's get started again. Thank you for sharing me out the portal. I totally appreciate you. Thank you so very much. That was awesome. So Trick 11, you were hit with identity fraud. Okay. Wow. Hi, Foodie Squad. So I guess I'm going to call everybody out too. So forgive me, guys, again. So we've got in the background, we have Chosen Queen. She was hit me up in the earlier time today. So I appreciate you, sis, if you can hear me. We've got Living Better with Style, Trick 11, Jasmine Easley, The Portal. We've got Tiffany Chanel, Taylor Burks. We've got, looks like the Foodie Squad came in. Hello, sis. And let's keep going here. Short Bus Pull Up. Welcome, welcome, guys. I really appreciate you guys. Thumbs up the live. Harrison Family Blog. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think we've gotten everybody. So that's awesome sauce. So Trickle Living said that she was hit by identity fraud. And how was that transaction for you? Was it easy for you to report it? Did you recover from it? How damaging, did you catch it early enough? Was it how easy was it for you to get that resolved? Exactly. Tiffany is a certified fraud examiner, and I do the quality control check in the mortgage industry. So yes, the examiner is the best cheese. And Tiffany says she don't blame. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. It's actually pretty disgusting when people go through the measures of doing what they do. It is disgusting. And you guys would be amazed at some of the things that people will do. Let's see, the portal just left you a message on your live stream. Okay, let me just check it out. Thank you, Tiffany, for the reminder. I'm looking through it on my phone. There's Tiffany Chanel. I can't find your page. Let's keep going. Hey, Pooh, I shared you out. Thank you for sharing me out, Foodie Squad. I appreciate you. Overlook something else. Um, okay, so yes, I don't see. How are you, sweetheart? Living better. Tiffany Chanel. Hello, everyone. Shared you out. Okay. You better. Oh, yeah. He told me to get off. Okay. So I think I'm all caught up with the chat. Did I miss anything other than that, Tiffany? She says, LOL, bruh, Harrison blog. Someone had opened a credit card under my name. I found out because I went to the store to open a card and was told I already had one. Um, and that's not unbelievable because it happens a lot. Triple living. I'm sorry that happened. It just you got. I don't want to call it lucky, but at least you caught on to it before it got too far. Because with that happening, there's no telling. I mean, I'm sure they probably charged it from here to the skies. And were you able to get that removed? Did you have any problems with getting it removed? And so, guys, I wanted to do kind of like a freestyle live today because I have a lot that I can tell you about fraud, but I also wanted my guests to have the opportunity to speak. If they want to come up, I'll be happy to drop the link for you guys to come up and talk about your experience with a fraudulent transaction and what did you do that you can share with others to help them get through it. Yes, I got very lucky. Yes, I was removed because it was in a state that you never lived in. Awesome. How do people get your information to steal? Easy, Taylor. Sometimes you have your information is floating around. People sell your information. They can get it by going through your mail. There's many, many different ways that people can get your information. Has that ever happened to you, Taylor? I've just dropped the link, so if anybody wants to come through, come up, I'll be happy to let you up if you want to talk about a time that you've been Victimized. That's awesome, Taylor, that it's never happened to you. That's why I spoke about locking your credit so that if anybody goes to try and pull something on, put something on your credit, they're going to get a notification that your credit is locked. And the retailer or whomever it is not supposed to go past that because they have no credit. It will not release any credit information on you. So if you are to do credit on your own after you lock it, you have to go and unlock your credit first and then tell the lender, you only have this amount of time to grab my credit. If not, you're not going to get it. I lock it, and if I'm going to apply for credit, I'll give them the 24-hour period, but I already have gone in and told them, lock it just for this day. I got 9 people in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Please thumbs up the live, share me out if you can. That is greatly appreciated. So did anybody want to come up and talk about an instance that happened to them before I move forward? The link is in the chat. Anybody want to talk about ways that you can actually prevent this from happening? I'm showing 10 people in the live now. Thank you so much for coming. Please thumbs me up, share out the live. Greatly appreciated. Okay, I'm going to move on because I will not be able to. But I know that people use identity to theft to get accounts. Yes, that is correct, Taylor. And they get the information by they can simply go through your mail. There are hackers out there that can get the information. Our information is so readily available that the only way that I can, even with you locking your credit, you still have to be on top of it. You still have to be on top. There's places here in Georgia that I know of that you can go and have a social security card made and then they use it. They just pick random numbers and then they go and use it to do damage. And that place was shut down, but they moved somewhere else. It's a lot of crooks out there, guys. They're up to no good but to hurt someone else's credit. Now we picked this topic because Candy C and she said she may or may not be able to come in. Hello, Miss Yo-Yo, thank you for coming. But she may or may not be able to come in because she did say that it depends on how her day was. So, but she worked in an industry that she caught a lot of fraud as well. Now, on the mortgage side, I caught a lot of fraud. And when I tell you, it is a scary situation in the position that I was in because I have been in so many different instances. There's nothing like sitting in a loan closing. The GBI, the FBI comes in and arrests people at the closing table for committing fraud. And lucky for me, when I caught it, I stopped the closing. So there's a lot that happens out there. Now, as far as loan scams, what happened before the meltdown, people were out, they were getting hard money lending because there were types of loans that was, it was crazy. Definitely was crazy. But there were types of loans that were being offered to help people get into a house. So they were doing the no money down. They were doing the no income, no credit, the no doc loans, or the stated where you just state your income and state your assets, and then you get a loan as long as you had a credit score. But some people were paying to have their credit scores boost. They were buying trade lines. and things of that nature. So they would come through, they would send us the documentation that we asked for. I really never liked those loans because the rates were extremely high and it was too risky. But you couldn't tell the lenders anything because all they wanted to do was close loans and make money. But it backfired on them. And I'll tell you why it backfired when we get through the slides. But it actually was a horrible time. And it started long before the bailout. It started long before the mortgage crisis. It's just that the lenders didn't take heed to it. That's how it used to be. Just state your income. Yeah. You state your income, state your asset, have a credit score of 660 or higher, you were in. You got a loan. And the underwriters, everybody loved them because they were easy loans to do because your customer here is showing you a bank statement with 6 months of reserves. They're showing you a documentation showing that they work for ABC company and they stated how much money they made. And the lenders did not, they followed the guidelines of the investors and those loans were let through. But then at the end of the day, when so many came on and the rates were high, and a lot of them were on balloons or adjustable rates, which meant that by the time they finished or halfway through the first couple of years, they couldn't afford it because the loan has adjusted and they couldn't afford the payment. So then those loans went into foreclosure because guess what they couldn't do? They couldn't refinance them because to go to a regular conventional loan, they didn't have those stated loans. They didn't have no income, no document loans. You had to provide the documentation. So they could not refinance the loan. So they were what? They were stuck in those loans. So most of them said, hey, especially here in Georgia, they don't sue you when they foreclose. They just put it on your credit that it foreclosed, and 3 to 7 years later, you can do another loan. So most of the people is like, oh, well, we can just go rent an apartment, or this house is just in the hubby's name, not in the wife's name. They send the wife out to get a loan, and they're back in another house. So that's what happened a lot with the scams. The scams were people were doing those loans knowing well that they could not pay them back. They knew that they could not afford the loans. They knew that they had fraudulently said things on their application, their loan application. Now, what we started to do is, yeah, they're not playing now. No. Well, they didn't play on my dime either because I was like, probably, hey, Wilson, for real, hello, thank you for joining us. I was probably like the toughest underwriter out there. I caught everything. They called me Miss Inspector Gadget because I caught everything. And the loan officers would be ticked at me. And I was like, you better be glad that I caught this because if you get to the closing and the GBI comes in there because this is loaded with fraud and they take you to jail, guess what the company's not going to do? They're not going to protect you. They are not going to bail you out of jail. They're probably not even going to give you your last check. So I would find everything. Hey, Candy C, I'm glad you're here. So like I said, Candy C dealt with a lot with fraudulent activities, and I want to say it was in the bank area. Correct, Candy C? That's right, Short Bus, no jail food. I can't do jail. I can't be locked up, period. I don't even like being quarantined, so I cannot be in jail. So that is not an option, not at all. But it was a scary thought. How do you get away from fraud on applications? How did I find it on the applications? Because things didn't match. It didn't make sense. Taylor, they would say that they work for Family Dollar making $5,000 a month, and that's not what we had checks and balances that we can check everything. We could check everything on the application. And the loan officers were just that crazy to not think we would find it and to think that we would follow through with it just so they can get their money. And that wasn't the case. Everything has to match exactly, Trickle-Lit. Everything has to match. So you can't tell me that you make $5,000 a month and you give me a bank statement that doesn't show a $5,000 deposit, number one, or you cannot send me a bank statement that says that you've only saved $500. something's not right. Hey, Jazzy Nicole. Hey, welcome, sis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And you guys, you know what? I always remove my moderators at the end of my lives because that was what I was advised to do. So I've added you back. Uh, so yes, you guys are back. Um, but basically, you cannot. It has to match. It has to match your bank statements. And then even the ones. Another big scam was they had people out there making up pay stubs, all willy nilly. It's making up pay stubs. But guess what? We have a calculation for Social Security. We have a we have a calculation for um, what is that? Medicare. We have all of those calculations, and we know the codes. So people would do that, and the calculations wouldn't match. Then we do another thing called the work number. So we have all kinds of tools. Let's see. Living Better says my sister-in-law was scammed trying to buy a house last year. Ooh, Lord. Yes, it's a lot of scams out there. Oh, there's places here too, also on a whole different note. There are houses out here that were vacant. People go and take ownership of the property and try and sell it. And Living Better, I don't know if you remember seeing it on the news where the person went and paid somebody a $200,000, got cash advance or whatever they did through their bank, and got $200,000 and paid this person for a house that he didn't even own. They made up the title work, they made up the appraisal, they made up the contract, they made all of that stuff up. So you have to check and do your due diligence when you're dealing with this. So again, everything has to match, it has to make sense. So that's why in the business we need to know your income, we need to know your bank information, we even need some stuff to show up on your 401k that people don't even think about it. We would tell them we need more reserves, and the loan officer doesn't even think about it, or they don't tell the customer. We call the customer direct. She did something. No, they had their own closing attorney, meaning the seller had their own closing attorney, which that was another part of the scam. You had appraisers that was part of the scam. You had attorneys that was part of the scam. You had the loan officers that was part of the scamming. You had the customers that was involved with the scamming, because all the loan officers did was fill their head up and say, you can buy this house this day and you can turn around next month and refinance it and get your cash out. And then we're going to give you cash out at the closing, which is a big no-no. You're not supposed to get cash out. Yes, that is jail big time. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So they did some darn crazy things. And you think about it, if you put all of that effort into doing this, and why not do it the right way? You can get more, what's the saying? You can catch more bees with honey. So they spend a lot of times doing that crazy stuff when they can actually do it the right way and have repeat customers. Do you need a lawyer when buying a house? If so, why? Well, the lawyer on my side of the business, they are there to actually help the customer with all the documents that the lender sends over for them to sign. They have no choice. If we are giving them money to buy a house, that is required that they have an attorney to do the closing. Now, certain states are different. Like California, they may close today, but they may not get access to their property for a month, the way their closing departments are. And Texas is different too. They have the land, that they have some type of loan. Texas loans were the hardest loans. Sorry, Tiffany. Texas loans was the hardest loans for us to close because it was always something that we had to go and get. But it actually protected us too as a lender. So when we first started doing Texas loans, we dreaded the Texas loans. We're like, oh no, not a Texas loan. But it actually protected us. So yes, it definitely is a good way to protect you, is to have the closing attorney. But most customers don't bring their attorney to the sorry guys. Most customers do not bring their attorneys to the closing. because there is a closing there, a closing attorney there. And a closing attorneys are from the lender, so we know it is not a bad thing. Let's see. Rice 320G, welcome, welcome, welcome. I think this is your first time to my live. Welcome. Thank you. We appreciate you coming in. Thumbs up the live, guys, please. Thank you so much. Texas has a lot of rules and regulations that are different from the state that I live in, Taylor. So I'm in Georgia, but we did the whole entire East Coast. And then we branched out to Texas, then we did the Midwest, and then we went on over to the West Coast. So the rules were different. Oh, okay, okay. Well, welcome. So you are agreeing with the rules and regulations in New York? Yes, our attorneys has to be at the closing to make sure that everything goes smoothly. Now in New York, now again, if it's a lender, if it's a bank or a reputable lender, we have attorneys that we have to have approved that will actually go through all of our documents. Now, if a customer wants to bring their attorney to the closing, they're more than welcome to do that. And yes, in New York, they have, because you have a community property state, which New York is community property. So that's the other thing, guys. You have to learn your state. And Tiffany Chanel did her live last week. We talked about, oh God, what was it? Prenup. And it was depending on, each state is different and for the properties and things like that. So some states are community property, some are not. Wisconsin has a really weird situation. That's what happened to my sister-in-law. The seller didn't own the home. He just took over ownership of an empty house and was trying to sell it to them. Yes. So isn't that the weirdest thing? You just become a squatter because the house is empty. And you find that a lot here in Atlanta, in the city of Atlanta especially. As a matter of fact, we drove around on yesterday. So Taylor, a community property state is a state where if you're a husband and wife and you purchase a property, whether you purchase it together or not, if you purchase it, you are community property, which means that if you sell that property, each and every one of the people involved has to be on the same page. They have to agree. And if they are sorry guys, I got a message coming in. And if they are community property state, you have to pay that person off. They have ownership in the. Okay, and let me see. I would bring my attorney if they brought theirs. You would bring your attorney, meaning if the seller brought their attorney, you will rarely see a seller paying the extra money for an attorney to come in, especially if it's a lender that has an attorney that's going to go over all your documents. So you rarely see that they would pay the extra money, but that's totally up to them. They can do that if they like. They do that on land for sale website that have houses on the property that they say is just for sale. Yes, yes, Jazzy Nicole, yes. That is correct. Now remember, we talked about the especially when you have land involved and you have somebody with a mobile home on it. They now make them affix the mobile home to the property, to the land with a foundation, because people will get in those trailers and just pull off. You come to foreclose and it won't be nothing there but the land. Because land does not have as much value as a home would. But I need someone to read for interest. Yeah, that is correct. That is fine. That is, and like again, if a customer wants to bring their attorney, they can. We won't stop them. We just know that it's coming from. Now, I know some attorneys will come through there and they'll flip through the pages and say, sign here, sign here, sign here. I was not one of those loan officers. I went to all of my closings, every one of them. I spaced them out so that I can go to every loan closing. And I went through every document with the customer. It got to the point I used a certain attorney that was approved through the lender. And when the documents came, the attorney would come in and he would pull the paper out. I would sit there and go line by line with the customer. And if they had questions, they can ask the attorney. The attorney will answer, and then I will answer just to make sure. If the attorney leaves something out, I'm telling you guys, I was probably the person that was the most supportive to the customers, period. I found fraud. I found everything. I was just that type of loan officer. Really? Awesome. I've not had that here in Georgia at all. I never had that at all. Well, first of all, most of the customers were scraping up money to come to the closing, so I know they didn't have the attorney to pay to come out to the closing. But that's why I was very particular with going over all the documents with the loan closers, with the customers when it came to their closing. Okay. Okay, guys. So with that being said, we talked about this next slide earlier on in the live, and there we go. I'm there. Subprime lending. Subprime lending. Does anybody know what the subprime lending was? And I have to remember to give you guys a few seconds because I'm looking at it from my phone to the actual computer. Well, not so much a balloon mortgage. A lot of them were balloon mortgages. They're subprime because they were less than perfect loans, which means that they had higher rates, high rates. And I was an account executive for a subprime lender. And that was probably the worst job I ever accepted to do. I felt so sorry for the customers because I was like, if you would have just came to me if you were my customer as a loan officer, I would have gotten your gotten your credit into a better shape so that you could have gotten an FHA loan. But a lot of customers were ready to move and move fast. So they would do the subprime lending. Now, I'll give you an example. During that time, the rates for a conventional FHA or VA loan, they were maybe back then, I think the rates were 7%. A balloon note, Taylor, is a note that you have a rate that is for 7 years, and at that 7 year, you have to pay that balance off in full. That mortgage becomes a balloon mortgage, and you have to pay the full loan off. If not, most people will go and try to refinance it to keep from having to pay the full balance off. So that's what it means. It balloons at the end of the term. Most terms were like 7 years, 15 maybe, but for the most part, it was 7 years. So again, the regular rates with decent to good to great credit was anywhere from 6 to 7%. Rates for an FHA loan. And what does your credit have to be? Okay, so let me finish this one and I'll let you know because that was a slide, that was a live that I did before. The rates for an FHA. Now, I don't discuss rates. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. I do not discuss rates because, again, I am now a retired loan officer, and because each state has a different rate. So the rates are different for FHA as opposed to a conventional loan. But the credit score for FHA, there's a lot of factors involved with it. It can be your credit score. Normally, they used to have 580, but most lenders, it's based on the lender's approval rate. The lender may say, yeah, we can do it at a 580 credit score, but we're going to recommend a 620 or 640. So it's at the lender's discretion. So with a subprime loan, did I answer the question for you? I'm sorry. Rice 320G, did I answer the question for you? So again, just in case, Rice, I'm just gonna say Rice, okay? I'm sorry because it's a lengthy name, so I'm just gonna call you Rice if you don't mind, unless you have another name you want me to say. But again, I don't discuss rates on the live because each state has a different rate. Okay, great, 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 great. Thank you. If you want to go back because you were not in that live, you're more than welcome to go look at them. I think that was probably it'll say FHA on the name of the live. It's on a Monday. So all my mortgage Mondays, they're all on Mondays, of course. So if you want to go back and look at them, I've got, I think it's several, it's probably 6 videos out there now, lives. So with subprime, as opposed to a 6.5 or 6% all the way, maybe even a 5.875 rate back then, the customers, because they didn't have the flawless credit or the repairable credit, they opted to get the subprime loan, which the subprime loan would be a 13% interest rate. Some of them will be 80-20. You will have an 80% first at like 10%, and then you'll get a 20% second at like 15%. So the rates were crazy high. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You're trying to buy a house, so I enrolled in a real estate. Oh, you're taking real estate classes. Awesome. Awesome. What state are you in? Once you get your license, if you want to go to my Instagram and send me your information, I keep a list of people. If you're looking for somebody to place your license with, or if you want me to, if you're in a state and somebody's looking for a real estate agent, I'll be happy to share your information out because I still do keep in touch with everybody. You're in Texas. Okay. I got family there too. So yeah, if you want to send me your information once you pass the test and you're ready to move forward, if you send me your information, I'll put my Instagram out there and I'll just keep it in my little profile. And when somebody come and they need somebody in Texas or what have you, and I've got a great loan officer in Texas, a great loan officer. Okay, Taylor, I'll put my Instagram information in there. So that was the subprime lending. It had a lot to do also with the mortgage crisis because people could not afford those rates. I mean, imagine if you're already struggling and your credit is already flawed and you're already not being able to keep up with your debt and you opt out to go ahead and just got to have this house. And most people, they live beyond their means. And Tiffany Chanel on her Mondays, we both talk on the same level about extending yourself with your debt to income ratio. Just because you can at that time afford that product does not mean that you should go out there and buy it to the fullest. Take it in a baby step. Focus on getting that debt paid off or paid down before going out to get that $1 million house. So just taking in baby steps. And I've purchased many a homes, many of them, but each one of them was a step up. And now I'm ready to step down because empty nesters. So I want a smaller home. But yes, so that was the thing. Just make sure you guys don't overextend yourself because those subprime lending loans are coming back. And as history repeats itself, the same situation happens every so many years. So prior to the last mortgage crisis, we went through this huge refinance boom. All the loans, people were refinancing like crazy. I like 3 times what I need before I. Exactly. Say that again. Let everybody hear what you said. That is Rice. That is great. If you have that saved and you make sure that you have that cushion, that's what we look for. We look for so if your credit score, and I'm not saying this is your score, so don't get this the wrong way. You asked about the rate score. I'm sorry, the credit score for FHA loans. If you were one of those customers that had a 580 credit score, and the lender says we need a 660, what we do is they run all of those loans through the automated system, which is Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae, DU or LP. And if it comes back with an accept, they will take that loan, because guess what? If that loan goes into default, Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae, whichever one approved it, they have to buy that. So Taylor, before you purchase a home, I don't know if you were on my first live where I gave that list of items that you need as far as your reserves, your income, your bank statements, your 401k, anything that on that list. It was a list that I gave on that first live, I want to say, of things that you need. And then if you need a loan officer or a real estate agent, I recommend anybody to go through their loan officer first to see what they're capable of buying and take their time, get a full approval subject to the appraisal, because that can make or break your deal. But again, guys, the subprime lending is coming back because of the fact that everything comes back around. History repeats itself. So every so often we have a mortgage crisis, but none has been as bad as the one we just came out of. Because subprime lending, not only did we have subprime lending, we also had hard money loans. And those hard money loans, they were vicious. You didn't need anything but a nice piece of property with some equity in it. Even if you were purchasing a house, if you were buying a fixer-upper and it had some equity in it, hard money lending would come in and they would say, oh, we'll do this loan for you. You have so many months to get this house fixed up. We'll give you the advances on it so that you can go ahead and. So meanwhile, you're paying this high interest and your balance is going up and up and up because you're using the money to get the house fixed up. And then when your contract is, when it's time to pay it out, you can't go and refinance it because of what? They have given you all the equity in the property. And with a reputable loan product, they do not allow you to pull cash out of your property at that higher rate, meaning 80% loan to value or higher, 95% loan to value, until you've been in that property for at least a year. Hard money lending didn't tell people that. They just told them, yeah, you can refinance this anytime and get that rate down and be into a really nice loan. But they didn't tell them when you're pulling all this money out, that's hitting your loan to value. And the lender's not going to give you a loan on that. So that also that hit the crisis too, because they had so many loans that went into foreclosure because customers was like, they didn't tell me this. There is an attorney in a hard money lending, and I will not call their name on this live because I don't want to get in trouble, but they were notorious for doing this, and they ended up losing their business license. The attorney lost their accreditation. It was horrible, horrible. And when I say people were coming in with men in black suits, it was bad. It was bad. I've seen so much, guys, I could write a book on it. Do you deal in getting contracts on foreclosures? That's how I bought my first home. Now, as a real estate agent, I don't practice real estate anymore. My husband does, and he has his information through HUD or VA. He rarely deals with Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac homes. They don't actually last that long either. People buy them as soon as they come out. So with getting contracts, I don't do the contract side of it. I only deal with the mortgage. Good questions, though, guys. You guys are giving some really good questions. So, but again, hard money lending and subprime loans were the reason why we ended up in the situation we ended up in with the last crisis. Okay. And another thing that happened that contributed to the mortgagee crisis is the interest rates. So people had the lower interest rates that had the decent credit. But those that had those hard money loans or those subprime lending loans, the rates were high. So they were pushing it back and forth, back and forth. The rates took us down. It took us down. And when I tell you those rates were extremely high, It was extremely high. Taylor, I meant to tell you, if you're interested in wanting to know, and so because you were, I think you were in that live, don't go back and look at that live. What I will do is send you that information on what you would need to purchase a home, if that's okay with you. So interest rates play a big part in the crisis too, because although we had decent rates for the good credit people, the ones that really needed it was the ones that had the higher interest rates, right? And then when they couldn't pay it, they let the houses go. So they considered it a mortgage crisis because all of those loans that were out there that could not be repaid. And all the lenders were like asking for money to bail them out. There were so many lenders that closed their doors because of that. There was a website that we would go to and it would show, hey, Vern, hey, welcome, sis. I thank you for coming. So there were a lot of people out there that was a lot of people out there that could not pay their debt for the houses that they purchased. So they didn't do anything but go foreclosure, and then the lenders that had all this money with the investors standing over them with a stake, with his with a plate, empty plate, saying, "Where's my money? Where's my money?" So the only thing they can do is ask for the government to bail them out, and that's how the bailout started. Which one is a good one? Which is bad for interest? Which one is a good one? Which one is a good one? And which is bad for interest? Okay, Taylor. So if you're asking me which loan is a good loan, anything that's FHA, I don't know if you're a veteran, but FHA, VA, conventional are all good loans. And the interest rates are very good. Right now, the rates are really good. But again, I cannot disclose rates because I'm not an active loan officer. I'm non-active, but I take my continuing education classes. So I cannot discuss rates with anybody. For bad, that would be someone that has flawed credit and do not want to try and get their credit in order. There are subprime lending out there again. Scary, scary, scary. But if that's what your question is, Taylor, let me know if that answered your question. 14 amazing content creators in the live. I certainly appreciate you guys hanging with your girl for Mortgage Monday. I hope the information that I'm giving you is to your liking and that it is understandable. You know, if you have questions, I'm always here to answer them. As I disclosed in my disclaimer, I am a professional mortgage professional that has done everything from underwriting to loan originating to processing to customer service to, oh my God, I did everything in the mortgage industry, sales executive. So yes, if you have any questions, I'm here to help you. And please, by all means, you can go out and hit me up on my Instagram, and I'll leave that in the live before my closing. I'm sorry, before I finish the live, so that you can hit me up with that. No, it's not good to have high interest rate, Taylor. High interest rates means that you're going to end up paying more for what you're paying more than what you really should be paying for the house. You're giving that finance, the interest on that loan to the lender. You can use that money for other things, savings. So if you got good credit, your interest rate is going to be lower, which means your payments are going to be lower. Thank you, Wilson, for real. Thank you. And Byrne says, be careful purchasing at this time. Make sure you can afford it. Exactly. Make more than mortgage, water. Exactly. And Byrne, there's a Rice is in here. I call them Rice. I'm sorry. Rice is in here. Said that they have at least, I think they said 3 months before they make any purchases. 3 months of all of their debt in savings, which is awesome. We want to try and get more money because now is a time that, you know, pretty soon a quarter is not going to be worth a quarter. So just be careful with that. So with all the interest rates and all the high interest rates and people could not pay the bill and they were walking away from the debt, this is what we saw all over. I mean, Florida was hit so hard. Dade County had so much fraud. Dade County was the state that most lenders said we do not loan in Dade County. Dade County had the highest foreclosure and fraud rates in the nation. So most lenders were like, they'll do a loan in Florida, but they were very, very, very tough on them. And if it said anywhere near Dade County or in Dade County, they would say we cannot lend. And they were quick to tell you, we cannot lend in this county. And they refused to. So we saw all of these signs all over. In Atlanta, it broke my heart because that's my hometown. And I would come and I would see some of the homes. Actually, yesterday we drove by my first home that I purchased. They've turned my first home into a community garden. They turned it into a community garden. And the house is still there, but what it is just a shell. And they go in there and get the water out so that they can water the garden. But my first home that I purchased was a duplex. It is a community garden now. And it just kind of saddened me to see all the properties that were foreclosed or bankrupt. And the thing is that some people still didn't learn. They had big time investors out there still running game. They go and buy those houses for a dime on the dollar. They go and buy all those properties and then they turn around and throw a little paint on the wall and get a flim flam appraiser. I know many appraisers that's on the list for fraudulent activity. And they will get what they want out of the property because they paid this appraiser off to say, hey man, I need this appraised value to come in at $150,000. That's why the lenders now, they do not allow the loan officers to order the appraisals. They order the appraisals themselves. Kind of like the VA. With VA, you're not going to just ask an appraiser to do a VA appraisal. VA orders that appraiser they're on their own. How big was your first home? Oh, Taylor, it was small. It was a duplex. It was what it was called. I don't want to say the term, but it's you come in the front door and you see right to the back. It was a living room, a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen, and then out the back door. So it was straight through. But it was on two sides. Now, had we decided to just make it one big house, it would have been fine. But we were smart. We used it as a duplex. We saved the money by not having my mortgage guys on that first home was only $118 a month, $118. And we had a tenant on the other side that paid the mortgage plus gave us money to save. And we stayed there for 4 years, 3 years, something like that. And all the money we saved, we bought our next investment property and kept the first home as investment. So then we had two investments. So that's how we did our business. But it's heartbreaking to see the for sale signs, and especially if you go back to your older homes and you see how the area is. I am going to actually do a live. I'm going to go live and go through the area and show all of the areas in Atlanta that was hit hard by the crisis and how they're doing, because there's still a long way to go. It's still a long way to go. So thanks, Taylor, for your questions, and Rice. Everybody's so great with your questions and your answers and your comments. It's awesome. And we started this out talking about fraud, but this all led to the foreclosure crisis. And when you say foreclosure crisis, I don't know if some of you may be old enough to remember, some may not. If you go back and look, you'll see. But you will see, this was all you would see in the news: foreclosure crisis, foreclosure crisis, foreclosure crisis, rates, rates, rates. And this was right before Obama came into the office. And when Obama came in, he set up a lot of partnerships to bail these lenders out. So all you would see in the news and in the newspaper, and I don't know about anybody else, the newspaper was great. So there were websites too, guys, and I think they're still actually operating, talking about the bailout. And if I find that website again, I'll be happy to share it with you guys. You can go check it out. But the mortgage bailout. So when Obama came in, he started doing different types of programs. And I was a part of, well, first of all, I worked on his campaign. But then I took on another step and I started working on the actual mortgage bailouts. And that's when some certain banks were able to do certain types of loans so that they can get the customer, keep them from foreclosing, losing their properties. So we did the Making Homes Affordable. And that was what I ended up doing, was doing Making Homes Affordable loans for the big bank. We did all of those loans. I forgot how many millions and billions of dollars that we did to get the customer, keeping them from losing their property. The guidelines were a little strict, but it wasn't as bad. And we saved a lot of customers, and the bank I worked for paid back their debt to the government by doing those loans. So only thing the customer had to do, we did have to check their income. We did have to check their assets. If they had to come to closing with money, we gave them a better rate, and it had to make sense. So remember, we talked about refinances, that refinance has to make sense. And this was where I did it. I worked at Bank of America, and they had the largest Making Homes Affordable rates buyouts. They took over Countrywide, which Countrywide was a mess. As a matter of fact, I didn't want to do anything that said Countrywide because they had such a shabby portfolio. They did so many people wrong. And I said, I don't want to put my name on anything that said Countrywide for that reason. So they took on Countrywide, but not only Countrywide, they took over Taylor Bean and Whitaker. So guys, I would be at a closing on a loan and there would be no money there to pay off the loan. Call the lender and say, hey, what's up? Where's the money? Where's the money? Oh, the company folded. So then I have to start the process all over again to get the customer reapproved with another lender. That's why I like being a broker, because I only had to pull that credit one time. And it didn't ding the customer a second or a third or a fourth time. And if it was a home that was already built, the credit was good for the 120 days. But they would close down those lenders. So in other words, Bank of America was the one that came in, needed help, and the government said, we will bail you out, but you got to pay this money back. So that was a struggle trying to get those loans approved, but they did it and they paid that money back. I got 12 amazing content creators in the chat. Thank you so very much. Don't forget to thumbs me up. Share me out if you can, because sharing is caring. But I do appreciate you being here, whether you're in this chat, in the walls, in the skies, in the trees, at your dinner table, in your car. Just be careful if you are driving. I want to thank you guys for being here. Is there any questions? Thank you, Harris, from the Family Blog. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so on this next slide, after we went through all of the loan modifications, if we could get them done, not all loans qualified. But we promised to pay, not we, because I didn't promise to pay nobody that. That was not my doing. I just worked on the loans, right? How long should a person wait after purchasing a home to seek out another investment property? I'm going to be, it depends on your reserves, because if you're comfortable with your reserves and have something in, because when you buy investment, the lender is going to want to see that you have enough reserves for 6 months, depending on the type of loan you have, so 6 months to a year, for all of your debt. That includes your house that you're living in, the house that you're buying to invest in, all your debt, your student loans, your credit card, your car, your insurance. They want to see everything that reports to your credit report. Now, listen, they don't check to see how much you're paying to your cable company or to your phone, your cell phone, or your insurance. But you, as a responsible adult, should put that into your own calculation. Thank you, chosen queen. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. So yeah, you want to make sure you have that entire amount in your savings account, because things happen. Things happen, and you want to be able to comfortably live, because it doesn't make sense to buy a house, paying for a mortgage, and you're having to work so hard to keep the mortgage paid, and you have nothing to live, nothing extra that you can spare, or if something happens. And nothing like going to work every day just to pay your mortgage and come home and go to sleep because you can't take that time to go out to dinner, or you can't take that time to go to the movies. So make sure that you guys could live comfortable. That's what I preach on. So does Tiffany, and so does Vern. Make sure that you have money that you can live on comfortably, not worried about, oh my goodness, I only have 6 months of reserves. What if my job folds tomorrow? What if I am demoted? What if my partner is no longer working? So those things that you have to think about. Think about things in the future, and think about the fact that you should think about more so paying your debt off, paying that extra mortgage payment a year so that you can get that loan paid down. Because if you can do a 15-year mortgage, I recommend it. Because immediately when you get that 15-year note, the first thing you're going to see when you make your first few payments, you're going to see so much money coming off of your principal balance. You're not paying that much money towards the interest. So did I answer that question for you? I see you put gotcha. Okay, cool. So guys, after all the loans that we could not do, we still gave the customer opportunity. We didn't want them to lose their house, so we did loan modification. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hello, Change for a Dollar. Thank you for coming. Welcome. So yes, loan modifications became prevalent because we didn't want people to keep losing their houses, because it looked bad for our economy. It looked bad for our neighborhoods. It was just, it was altogether a bad situation. All of this would not have happened had the lenders took heed to what the lenders were saying, not the lenders, but like the loan officers or the customers or the government. What they were saying was, hey guys, you are doing too much. Slow down. Stop doing those subprime loans. Stop doing those no income, no doc loans. It's not healthy. But they kept on because all they saw was dollar signs. And then they come crawling to the government when it all failed. And they're like, oh my God, we need help. We need help. Well, you do know that not everybody got the bailout. Not all lenders got the bailout. Some of them end up filing bankruptcy. Some of them got under investigation for criminal acts and things like that. So, guys, just make sure that you definitely take your so mods change for dollars. I don't know why his comments keep asking me to view it. Can you guys go ahead, and I got to figure out why not Nightbox is doing that. So if you guys can go ahead and show his comment as long as it's within, and I know he knows the rules. So yeah, can y'all go ahead and show his comments? Thank you. I'm sorry, change for a dollar. I've got to get that fixed because that happens to you and Booty for some reason. I don't know why. But the loan modifications became a prevalent thing. We wanted to keep people in their houses because we were tired of our economy failing and crashing and our neighborhoods looking nasty. And trust me, because you know what happens when those houses go up for sale and nobody's living in them, they're abandoned. You board them up, and then some kid comes through and kick it down, or some person that don't have a place to live goes and stays in the house. And some of them go stay in these nice big homes and then turn around and say they own the house and try and sell it, and people fall through and they end up paying cash for something and get scammed. So we started doing the loan modifications, and the loan modifications were good programs. And yes, squatters, exactly. Squatters. They would come in, and some of them, if they stayed in it long enough, to be a squatter, you have to have taken care of the house for 20 years. But they were still squatters. They didn't own the property. They were just living in this nice fancy home, and then they decide they're going to tell people they're selling it, and people will fall for the okie doke. They will want that house so bad they will fall for it. It's bad in Baltimore. Yes, I have a friend that lives in she lives in Baltimore too. Well, she just moved to Tennessee from there. But yeah, it's bad. It's bad. You do not want your property. Yeah, they trash them. They do. They trash them. I'll tell you, my first property, it was a shell. They came in, they took all the copper piping out, they took all of the appliances out, they even took the toilet, and they were out because back then we purchased an area that was up and coming, and they took everything and they went and sold it because it was an area that was infested with drugs and crime. So we bought over there because it was up and coming, because they had this new attraction coming in the area, and people started moving back in. But we were having to do the alarm systems. We were having to have dogs. We were having to have just things to keep them out of our property. Trap houses. Yeah, they just took over, and it was horrible. So that was the things that's why we started doing the modifications. We wanted to make sure that the properties stayed in the hands of the owners, because most of the owners, they came in, they took care of the properties. I have to tell you that they will fix the property up, and they didn't want to lose their home, but they just couldn't afford it. So we came up with the other option, which was the loan modifications. And they were really good. What they would do is they'll modify the loan, give them a better interest rate, and they'll stay on that modified loan for, so many years. And after that, they have the option to either refinance it, which some of the rates I would not have refinanced that home because they gave really good rates. If I was going to do anything, I would have possibly sold it or rented it out and went on to my next property. But the loan modifications were good. Some of the big banks did them, but not everybody was approved for the modification. So some people out and out ended up losing their property. But that's because they listened to their loan officer and they wanted the house so bad, but didn't think about the outcome. So they end up losing it because they couldn't afford it. So even if they did a loan modification on a loan that they were already struggling to keep, the struggle was going to continue. And most people don't learn their lesson. They keep doing, they're that type of person that thinks this is not going to happen to me, or, oh, they're going to come up just like they had a program for this, they're going to come up with another program. And your luck is going to run out. There's no other way of saying it. Your luck will run out. So, guys, I do want to say for this next slide that's coming up, this is my sis. She comes in, she has my back, but today is her birthday. So, guys, please wish the lovely Living Better with Style _Rucker a happy birthday. Happy birthday, sis. I hope you are having a great day. Happy birthday. I would sing happy birthday, but y'all might get off the live. So if anybody want to come up and say something to her for her birthday, you're more than welcome to do so. If somebody can find the link in there so I don't have to come off my live, you can do the drop the link, or I'll come off and drop the link. But happy birthday, Living Better. I hope you had a great day. Woo woo. Happy birthday. And is she in here or not? Has she gone and didn't see her birthday shout out? There she go. Oh gosh, happy birthday. Happy birthday, sis. I hope you had a great day. You're awesome. You're always there. You're supportive. All of you guys that comes in my live and hang with me, you guys are also supportive. So I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. But I wanted to give her a happy birthday wish because we cannot be there with her right now because we're all cyber. But I wanted to wish her a happy birthday. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So before I go any further, did anybody have any other questions? Cake, cake, cake. I know I would love some cake right about now. Woo, cake, cookie, ice cream, something. I would love some cake right now. But I'll take the cyber cake, and I'm sure Living Better will too. And if you have a birthday cake, sis, let me know. It's worth me doing the drive. Not that far. I'll come and do the drive and get me some cake. So, guys, you know Tiffany Chanel goes live next, so I'm gonna try and hang out in here to 9 o'clock so we can raid Tiffany because she goes on at 9. That's a ritual. We have to be back to back. So, but any questions about any other topics about scam or fraud or foreclosures or anything? Did you guys want me to tell you any of my stories? Jasmine says, happy birthday, Living Better. Miss Rucker. 14 amazing people in the chat. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. And Living Better is especially appreciating you guys telling her happy birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Anybody know about Ryan Cameron in the ATL? Know about his birthday song, and I know Living Better remembers that one. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Why are some underwriters so different? Because they want to make sure that they are crossing their T and dotting their I's. I was probably I didn't go outside the box. In other words, I would to a certain, if Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae says that we can do it, I still scrutinize that file because guess what? At the end of the day, especially for FHA and VA loan, we're licensed. And if we mess up, some lenders will make us pay for those loans. We have to buy them back. So we don't want to buy back loans. We don't want people to lose their homes. So we scrutinize those files. Yes, I do, Jasmine. And that's actually one of my topics. So if you want, I can do the topic next week. So let me know if that's the topic you want to talk about next week, because I have the slides and stuff ready, but I'll try to make sure I do them all in a certain segment. Or you can hit me up on IG, and if you're looking for some information, I can help you that way. Get ready. Get ready. Get baby girl her snacks. Get my niece her snacks. Yes, they do. And New York has some things going on too with their housing. Okay, see you over there, Tiffany. Make sure you get my baby girl her snacks. And get me a snack too, because I'm hungry. But we'll be over there, Tiffany. You know we're rating you. Surprise! Okay, so Trick or Living, did that answer your question? They're not really being difficult. They're just protecting. They're protecting their job. They're protecting their bank account. They're protecting their license. Because as an underwriter, if you have any flaws, any things that come up, it actually follows you. But whereas if you are an employee that's doing customer service, it doesn't follow you. But in the mortgage business, anything we do follow us. We have MLS numbers. And if we mess up anything, that number follows us, just like the FHA. And even with the FHA and VA loan, it not only follows our license number, it follows that case number that's on that house, and all that information comes up on the case number. So when we pull up customers, say for instance, you were refinancing your house and you had some. Oh, okay. Hold on just a second, Jasmine. I see it. I'm sorry. Let me minimize. So with that being, it will happen. We have to be careful. We have to protect um, our our license, because if we don't, we will um, we will be in a lot of trouble. So we've got Jasmine on the channel, and go ahead,
Hello.
Jasmine. Hang on, let me stop sharing so that no, I'll go ahead. Okay, Jasmine's on the live for you guys.
Hello. I just came to say happy birthday. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, living better. Happy birthday to you. That's all I came to
Oh,
do.
she sung it to you. Yay! And many more. Thank you, Jasmine.
You're welcome.
So living better, you just got serenaded, girl, on your birthday. Ah, and it did not come from me, because I would turn up. She says, "I'll take it, Jasmine. So beautiful."
You're welcome.
So with Tricka living, yes, it is the light. So she said, "Oh." She said, "Oh, living better." Jasmine, we got contracts for you to sign, because yeah, if that becomes a hit, living better, and the whole chat here wants to get a part of it.
Okay.
So thank you for coming up, though.
You're welcome.
Um, let's see. Chosen Girl Raiders is the name correct? Well, I do just do Eat to Live Strong. And just say Raiders. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's correct. Chosen Queen. I forgot all about that, girl. I forgot about that. You bringing back some memories. So, Living Better says she loves you, Jasmine. She
I
loves you,
love her
sis.
too.
She said thank you.
She's welcome.
Okay, so you're gonna array early. I think she comes on at 9, so I don't think she's up yet. But you can go ahead and put it in your comment. Yes, that's awesome. Thank you, Chosen Queen.
Yeah, she's
And
not up yet.
I did look at your video. You're planting. Yes. I'm sorry, Jasmine. What was that now?
Tiffany's not up yet.
Right. She won't be up until 9, so I think she's gonna go in under the tab until yeah, her break is almost over. So yeah, if you want to go in there and do that, that's awesome. I appreciate it. I'm glad you spent your break with us, girl. Do I owe you some chips and salsa or something? So Trick of Living. Let's see. Already in Tiffany's that somebody beat me first. Yeah, I should have been in there before all of y'all, because I stay in the live. But I'll be in there. So yep, thank you. So yeah, Trick of Living license. We have our license to protect. So we're really not very difficult. We want the customers to close, because not only do we have to protect our license. Thank you so much, Living Better, for dropping the link for the raid. Thank you so much. But we do get commission too. Loan officer is not the only one to get commission. Underwriters, they get a bonus. So by getting a bonus, we want to close loans, right? We just got to protect ourselves. So that's why I don't think we're very difficult. Now, me on the other hand, I probably would say I'm difficult because I've seen so much. I've seen so much. I don't like to come outside the box. If I do, it's only because Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae told me to do so. Other than that, I'm not going outside the box. Everyone get their share. Yep, exactly. Even the processor, they get a bonus. And if you're working at a company on the retail side, the underwriter gets a bonus, the processor gets a bonus, the setup person gets a bonus, the closing department gets a bonus. Of course, the loan officer gets a commission, and the sales manager, we got commission too as sales managers. Yes. Well, see, we don't deal with the real estate agent, but they do get a commission. They do. But they're the ones that harass us more than the customers. Real estate agents do. And my husband, like I said, when I was active, I was the loan officer and he was the real estate agent. And at least when I'm working in the office, I can go away from everybody. But when I'm in my house, I can't because he would just come down and says, "Hey, what's going on with that loan?" We'll see with everybody else. They knew they had to come by my time. They had to adhere to my schedule. But I couldn't with him because all he had to do was come downstairs to my office and say, "Hey, what's going on with that loan?" So thank you, Vern. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging in there. Jasmine, did you go down? Did you leave the live? Because I don't see you there. So let me go back to sharing because I want to make sure I close you guys out really good. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Okay, so with that, any other questions? Is there anything that you guys, okay, thank you, Jasmine. Is there anything that you guys think I should do for next week? I think Jazz and Nicole had a topic, but is there anything else? Because that's a small segment. So any other topics that you guys think that I should do next Monday? Any topics that you guys want to talk about, let me know so I can put that in my notebook. Anybody got any new content coming out? Because we've got about 3 minutes before she goes live. Okay, then with that being said, I think next week I will do Jazz and Nicole. I'll start out with hers, and then I will probably do debt to income ratios. So guys, bring your calculator. Short bus, bring the calculator. This is Nightbox. Hold on, bring the tap water and the calculator because we're gonna do some exercise on calculating your debt to income ratios, and we'll do hey, Jaden. Hey. Hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're laughing at me because of what I said about Nightbot and the calculator. Bring the calculator, guys. Bring that calculator and the tap water. And I'm going to have to stop saying that because Short Bus could come after me for copyright. Love him long time. But yeah, so next week we'll talk about those things. So I will have it out Monday at 7:30. Guys, on Wednesday, it's Wellness Wednesday. And then on Friday, it's Fitness Friday. I am trying to put together Wednesdays live. And can you drop Tiffany Chanel's link for me again, please? So I will bring so I'll be here Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. And on Friday for Fitness Friday, we got 2 guests that's going to come up. We're going to do a quarantine workout. And that's, I'm hoping that they did confirm, but I hope it stays that way for Fitness Friday. Now, as of July, I will not do Fitness Fridays. I will combine Wellness Wednesday with fitness. So I'm only going to go live on Monday and Wednesdays. On Friday, I'll go live, but I will put out content. So Tuesday, Thursday, Friday for Fiesta Friday, and Saturday, I'm going to put out content. So I appreciate everybody in here. I've got 10 wonderful content creators that was hanging in here with me. I appreciate you guys. go ahead and go over to Tiffany Chanel, rate her out. But make sure you thumbs me up in the live today. And I really appreciate you guys. Love you long time. And I will say gracias and thank you. So au revoir. So I will not be showing you my picture today because we had a rainy day. So I will see you guys over in Tiffany Chanel, and I will see you on Wednesday and Friday. God bless you guys. Stay safe, stay masked up, keep your hands washed. I know we already do that, but thank you so much for coming. I'll see you guys on Wednesday and Friday. God bless. Love you long time. Bye. Oh, go on, Triple M. There you go. You go, girl. Go on, go on. I thought that was pretty neat, right? Hey, Natural Way. Hey, hey, hey. Then land in the bushes. Okay. And happy born day, Miss Rucker. That's from Natural Way of Cotton. Uh-oh, Tiffany got a topic for y'all. Uh-huh. Y'all share the love. Go on over there and hang out. Let's see. I'm interested to see those answers. So, guys, I'll see you over there in Tiffany Chanel. Thank you for hanging out with me. I always leave my live up for a few minutes just in case somebody comes in. But I will be over in Tiffany Chanel's live. Living Better says thank you, Natural Way of Connie. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Oh, and if you guys are still in here, I am going to put a survey out on the community tab. So if you have access to it, please answer the community tab. I appreciate you. I should have said that in the beginning. Thank you, Living Better. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I really do. I understand, Natural Way. I understand. I appreciate you just being here. You're awesome. God bless you too, sis. Love you long time. Love you more. Okay, guys, we've got about 10 minutes left on the live. So thank you for hanging in there. Again, if you have any questions about the topic that we spoke about tonight, you're welcome to do so. I'm here to give you the answers and to go ahead and get ready for next week's topic. So thank you so much for hanging in there with me today. God bless you guys so much. Okay, got 5 more minutes, guys, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So thank you for hanging in there. Okay, guys, this has been the most exciting 2 hours. I had a lot of people communicating, having questions and answers. You guys rock, and I appreciate you. You're hanging in here with me, and I totally appreciate you guys. So, with that being said, I will see you guys on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday. I'll see you on Friday for Fitness Friday. But please remember, on Friday, I will have two special guests, and I'm trying to get a guest for our Wellness Wednesday. Either way, I will be here on both the lives. And also remember that as of July, I am combining Fitness Friday and Wellness Wednesday together, and I will no longer do a Fitness Friday. I will actually have content coming out on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for Fiesta Friday, and then on Saturday. So, with that being said, I may actually also do content on Monday, but I won't hold you long. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with your girl. Eat to live strong. Love you long time. See you on Wednesday. God bless you. Bye now.